In this day and age, we get caught up in a lot of things. We forget to be happy sometimes. There's a lot of depressing and sad things going on in the world. Sometimes we just need something that you could consider a palate cleanser. And I got the game for you. Welcome, my unhappy gamers, as we take a look into the Yoshi game no one really seems to talk about. Yoshi's Story was put out on the Nintendo 64, and while it did nothing groundbreakingly new for the time, it still operated on a 2D field, of course. I think the game is a fun romp that often gets overlooked. To me, that is surprising compared to how big Mario platformer got in the SNES with Mario World and Yoshi's Island. The game is a fun distraction that is quite short and has some really good replayability, mixed with the unique progression system. Anyways, that's enough yapping. Let's get into Yoshi's Story, originally released for the Nintendo 64 in 1997. Let's turn the page and grow a bit more happier. Yoshi's Island was produced by pretty notable players in the scene, like Hideki Kono and Takashi Tezuka, led the charge, of course, being two established Nintendo figures working on games past and well, currently. The interesting thing here is that separating the Yoshi character as a standalone franchise from Mario makes this the second mainline entry, just after the critically loved Island. Shigeru Miyamoto did not fill in to help other than overseeing the game's creation, giving general ideas, input, supervising role that he is used to in nowadays. Looking at the 64's lineup of gargantuan titles, it's obvious Miyamoto was held up on arguably more important endeavors. The composer here is Kazumi Totaka, a man I failed to cover in my Luigi's Mansion review, a composer for well-known games made by Nintendo, but also his Easter egg of a tune is something he's known for, Totaka's Song, a unique short jingle that shows up in a spread of his works, usually hitting some criteria to hear it. KK Slider of Animal Crossing fame is the furry embodiment of Totaka, providing the score for that series, as well as KK Song being the Easter egg as well that you can find. More relevant to the topic, Totaka was also providing the voice for Yoshi, as he does voice acting on the side of composing. This, to my knowledge, was the first game to do so, and these recordings of Yoshi's voice were used around for the next 10 years of the Green Lad's appearance, especially in games like Super Smash Bros. Sales were overall fairly good, and reviews went from positive to mixed. Many issues felt were with the game's length, easiness, and simplistic nature, and how the game was targeted to a clearly very young audience. Positives were the music and art style, with the very clear inspiration of a pop-up storybook being the forefront. Over time, it feels as if it faded out and didn't really wow the audiences like many people had with the original Yoshi's Island or other games on the Nintendo 64. I think the criticism seems overall pretty fair, while also missing the overall point. The Yoshi franchise always held this kind of identity in my opinion, and a lot of these critiques are with every Yoshi game that comes out. I heard it with Woolly World and Crafted World. I will save everyone's time by not going onto that type of rant, but I still believe that the game offers a different type of enjoyment to be had than some, and Yoshi's Story holds up as a unique entry worthy of people's attention if you haven't played it yet. A very deep, interconnected story occurs. Yoshis live on an island with a tree. Tree makes them happy. Baby Bowser steals the tree because he's a douche. Pick one of the 6 newborn Yoshis traversing through this storybook world to find the super happy tree, eat food, and be happy.
So happy.
Progression of the storybook takes you across 6 measly levels. However, the caveat is that each level, or better to say, world, is split into 4 unique stages for each. Adding the total stages you could go across is 24. This adds a lot more variety. You start with the level in Chapter 1, and depending on some collectibles you can get, more on that a little bit later, you can get access to a specific number of levels in the next chapter, and so forth. Chapter 3 always comes out with a boss at the end, as well as Chapter 6 concluding with the final fight between Baby Bowser and the Yoshis. Each chapter follows a set theme. Chapter 1 is Beginning, offering more simplistic plains-like levels typical for Mario platformers. Following the trend is Chapter 2, Cavern. These stages focus on underground, having some lava and water mixed in with the plain rocky underground. Chapter 3 is Summit, mainly holding icy and sky theme leveled, added with a individual boss for each level in Summit. Chapter 4 is Jungle. Take a guess. Chapter 5 is Ocean. Take another guess. And finally, Chapter 6, Finale. Finale has Bowser, but also 4 different castles, each holding its own theme to brutalize these poor Yoshis. You can plan out your route and hit levels you like, avoid the bad ones too. Another game off the top of my head is Shadow the Hedgehog, which has similar short campaign type, with each stage having a different path and coming to a somewhat different conclusion overall. While the story for Yoshi's case is not really that unique, the replayability here is the different levels, giving you 4 whole total unique runs with no levels repeating, and an exponentially higher combination of playthroughs with each run, if you'd like. I like it, at least. Not much else with story. I want to get into the gameplay, a piece I feel is somewhat unfairly judged. As stated, you pick your Yoshi color of choice and start a level. The Yoshi mechanics are all here with his flutter jump, tongue, egg throwing, ground pound, and a mean sniffer. The gameplay feels the same to other Yoshi games, but it's how the levels work, which is a little weird. I have mentioned getting fruit and food in the past. Well, aside from supplying health, this goes towards stage completion. Yoshi needs to collect 30 fruit in each stage before moving on. This sounds pretty easy, and if you assume that, you are entirely correct. There are 4 main fruits in total: bananas, apples, grapes, and watermelons. At the start of a run, the favorite fruit is decided for that Yoshi color, and that picks how much score or mood you will get along with the health restoring factor. The fruits that are not a favorite of Yoshi's will restore a smaller amount of health, while the favorite acts as a full heal. Lastly, there are melons. Melons are a limited quantity, only 30 exacts for each stage. Melons are great as they are universally loved by every Yoshi color. A true fruit that transcends race. Melons restore 3 hearts and give decent boost to mood. There is other things to eat as well. Peppers, the Yoshis usually do not like. Some creatures and flowers can be heated for small health bonuses, and even more, some give only eggs for ammo and no health. Lastly, some health-giving items are super happy hearts. The small hearts here are a full restore, temporary invincibility, and usually a burst of coins to collect for mood. The sunflower in the corner, representing the health total, starts rocking and raving up to the music as well. The large hearts are vital to stage progression. There are only 3 in each stage, some very well hidden, and getting to them gives you more levels in the next story chapter. All 3 hearts gives you the choice of all 4 levels for the next chapter, and none will only give you the first level in each respective chapter. Combining this with the level layout, each providing to be respectfully beefy, has no official end goal. There are 4 checkpoints scattered along each stage, and if you make it to the end, there is a jar that will just spit out to the beginning. The checkpoints also offer up to be a nice fast travel between the stages. I preface this all to say, what is the point? I want to assume that a lot of the playing by reviewers was just collecting any and every fruit you see up until you get 30. This happens fast, usually before or by the second checkpoint, and sometimes before seeing the real meat and bones of what the actual level has to offer for themes. Playing like this not only nets you a low mood score, but is doing the game a disservice if you ask me. There is a lot to each level, and exploring it for all the secrets can be really fun, rewarding, and challenging. Going for higher level fruits is an obvious yes. Sniffing away to secrets, finding places to collect happy hearts or coins, the whole mood idea is really the point if you ask me, trying to get a high score, so to speak. The game goes on about making the Yoshis happy as they can, so going for the highest mood seems to be the must here. The challenge comes in the finding the right fruits. The 30 melons is the common idea for a 100% completion run for every stage. Being only exclusively 30 in each stage, and some can be permanently missable if you failed a minigame or something like that, all melon run is genuinely challenging, especially if you aren't keen on the stage's secrets. While I will get to the free play mode in a bit, you want to play every stage once in story mode, so it is unlocked in the free play anyways. All this being said, this is how I see the Yoshi mantra always being. A very simple platformer for all ages, set apart by having built-in parameters to adjust the game's difficulty to your choosing. Other Yoshi games are easy, but going for collectibles or 100% is really where the difficulty ramps up, and I think that's great. It does what Nintendo sets out to do, and makes games fun for everybody. I like this a lot. It's not as simple as, yeah, a generic difficulty slider, but I think this does well. If that is something you don't like, well, I don't know what to tell you, man. Seek therapy, find help, touch grass, maybe? Finishing up gameplay and exploration stuff, the stages are all genuinely pretty unique, and have some pretty cool secrets and all. The most notable are the white Shy Guys, found hidden very seldomly, and when taken to the end of a stage, they can be selected on the Yoshi select screen. These helpful dudes will bring Yoshi back from death if you at least had one die so far. The death for each Yoshi is kinda messed up, I should mention. The flower turns sad and has this for a face, and the music in Yoshi's scream also hurts, man. Some of Bowser's minions swoop in to take the Yoshi's crying body to their lair, but the white Shy Guy returns them in a triumphant manner. What a guy. Also hidden even more rarely are the white and black eggs. These special eggs, if survived to the end of the stage, similar to the white Shy Guy, grant you the special white and black Yoshis. The two best colors right here. Not only do they look sick as hell, but they're also not picky and provide a great gameplay benefit. They love every type of fruit and can even eat the peppers without losing HP. Based. I wish they became permanent in free play mode or something, but alas, they are too powerful. And once they die, they are gone for the rest of that story. So, if you want to be like me, get the Black Yoshi, immediately play as him, lose him in the stupidest way possible. A minute into the first stage, you take him into. Hi. I'm telling you, there's a secret here. I lied. Are you kidding me? No, 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 I lost Black Yoshi, alright! Yes, I hate myself most days too. Lastly, boss fights. I will say most are way too damn easy. They either have little to no health, but two examples are just kind of laughable in my opinion. The first is Cloud and Candy, the most infamous boss here in the game. He eats a giant puff of cotton candy. You eat him to death, healing you for 2 petals every lick. Any damage you may take from his floaty-ass jumps are offset by the rapid healing pace you'll do. The other one is the final boss, Bowser Jr. himself. The fight is not as easy. Mind you, the 2-phase fight having to strike a flying Bowser with your eggs or bob-ombs is solid as is. The real kicker is the Super Happy Tree, that is the object of the Dino's search. It just holds a lot of fruit, as well as those Super Happy Hearts, which once again give the previously mentioned ability of invincibility. Also, one thing I forgot to mention while in the Super Happy mode is the unlimited eggs you get. Kinda whack. Another challenge here is once again diminished as it's kind of underwhelming. Comparing it to how iconic the original Yoshi's Island final boss was for the time, this feels kinda sad. Stage free play is herein. It allows you to tackle individual stages for the highest score. This is super fun, playing your favorite levels at any time. A quick lightning round I prepared for some of my favorite levels. Shy Guy Limbo is my go-to for stage 5. It subs out the underwater levels for Shy Guys doing Limbo. Enough said. Jelly Pipe is a unique stage designed to come up with the sick-ass song to boot. Bone Dragon Cavern is also a cool stage too, with fighting skeletal dragons. I like. Another standout is the Jungle Hut, the only good stage in Chapter 4 being a non-linear area where Yoshi goes to one of several huts, and each hut contains a different set of obstacles to pass when collecting the fruit. I really like this one, coming back to this. What are my least favorite, I guess, that we ask? Well, all the rest of World 4. Jungle Puddle has these asshole fish who one-shot you if they eat you. Piranha Plant Grove has these flying pests that eat you, steal all of your eggs, make you tiny for a short period, as well as making you take damage. Neon Jungle is just, these guys are weird, I'm not a fan of how they move, like, it just feels kind of slow when trying to replay the game. It doesn't make the level fun, I don't know. All in all, the levels are pretty solid in looking at it from a broad spectrum. Look, I get it. People may not be as impressed with some of what this game's identity is, but it has loads of charm. With the art direction, all the secrets, it just oodles happiness to consume upon. The storybook aesthetic is really cool. I love the little Yoshi sounds they make. The music is fun to listen to. It feels like a crime to hate this game, but to find it underwhelming is definitely a fair point, and I can't really blame anyone for doing so. Is it the best Yoshi game or platformer? God no. But does it have a special place in mine or others' hearts? Well, absolutely. Go try this game if you haven't played it. It doesn't take too much of your time, and it can remind you that things are okay. Things will get better. The Yoshi sure did. At the end of their story, they have a little storybook section going over their whole adventure, and it ends something similar to this. The day was won, and Bowser fell. The Super Happy Tree was well. Yoshis were happy, as could be. The heroes danced before the tree, and the Yoshis lived happily ever after. Just don't kill the Yoshis. That will actually mentally scar you.